I hope that this is getting clearer, guys. So this was back when I was first thinking about the what do we really have to have in order to successfully integrate with artificial intelligence? What do we have to be able to do to accurately model intermodal integration? And what we have to do is we have to figure out how all this different stuff translates. That's what we automatically do with our nervous system. That's what geodesic coherence is the perception of the physical derivatives way up into the future and I guess way into the past, all that stuff all at the same time. So right here you should be able to see, let's see here. So this is again the Bronfenbrenner cycle. I was just drawing it. This is that's harder than it looks. This is like the neural sheathings. And this would be where we're trying to maximize Lagrangian at each location by matching the orthogonal information. Now, at each geodesic, which is the coherent structure through the nervous system, which is getting magnitude oriented in the hypothalamus, which begins to become messed up as the perineural networks get worse and the semantic logic is taking over the civilization. Because it doesn't have the ability to accurately prioritize magnitude. Because all this stuff in our environment, it messes up our ability to prioritize magnitude. Because literally the proteoglycans are part of the inhibition structure. So when you have stuff coming in and it's freaking you out, it is literally what instantiates in order to prevent you from going off and doing some crazy stuff. That's part of why they get built up, and that's part of why we ignore it, and that's why it gets worse and worse until we lose the ability to physically participate with each other. Like all this, it's destroying conversations, it's destroying relationships, it's making us feel like life is not meaningful enough. All this stuff, return to all these distractions. We have got to stop that, and we have got to start living in the present. So I believe that that's through these different ways that I've been talking about with artificial intelligence companions locally, where we are being optimized with flow state with each other, where we have a symbiotic relationship with our artificial intelligent companion. We don't have to go there right now, but we at least need to figure out how to have a BCI setup that is not invasive. Because when we put electrodes in, it is not as efficient as what the brain can already do. We have to be able to participate on, I think we can actually participate on the outside. And we're also going to need a shield from all this external information, all this noise and all that stuff. We might end up needing some sort of laminated, like external cytoskeleton within, some radius of our body that doesn't compromise the signals that we already use for our consciousness and amplifies the ones that we actually do need. And as we get into a greater science of flow, most likely we're going to have micro tuning of gamma from different regions of the body to facilitate different particular gradients for different types of activities, because one type of activity is not going to produce the exact same physiological activity as another. You might be doing similar computational dimensions, but you're going to be using different parts of yourself because you have to use physical organic matter to do computation, and different organic matter has different microstructures, and that's how they coordinate together to create the physicalization of one gradient or one set of pathways and behaviors, perceptions, all that stuff over another. One Jones polynomial braid versus another. And so these are like the I've said it before, these are like the mass events on the Jones polynomial for the sheathing matrix of the neural correlate structure, which could be associated with one particular state right here. And then, you move them around, and then you have the different movements of cognition through the nervous system. That's good for now.